guys, welcome back to another episode of the TO Show. Man, we have another awesome guest with us here today. Guys, I hope you guys checked out our last episode with Bo Bauer from Notre Dame. It was a pretty fun episode. But we have another awesome guest this week with us. Before we get into anything, hey guys, if you guys like this content, like what you're hearing, like what you're seeing, feel free to hit that like and subscribe button and follow us on all social media platforms just so you stay up to date with all the newest things, what's going on with the TO Show stuff. I'm going to do my best to stay on this weekly schedule for you guys. We're continuing to bring awesome guests, but as we dive into things, we have another amazing guest with us here. And I'm excited about this one. We got Joey Big Play Carino with us here today. What's going on, Joe?
What's up, Ty? Thanks for having me. Really appreciate it.
No problem. How are you doing? Did you get a chance to watch the Super Bowl this weekend?
I did.
Who did you have? Who did you want winning this weekend?
I was going for the Bengals. I mean, I'm a big Joe Burrow fan, but I mean, it was a good game, good atmosphere. Thought the SoFi was a sweet place to play. Looks sick.
Yeah, I think so. I think it almost looks like a spaceship out there.
No, it was sweet.
What do you kind of take away from Joe Burrow's game? Kind of bringing into yours, your quarterback, Albany. We had some success last year. With you being able just to make plays and kind of extend plays and make things happen. What do you kind of take from Joe Burrow that you kind of see in yourself?
Yeah, exactly what you said. I mean, I feel like I can extend plays. And I feel like his story is very inspirational too, how he won the Heisman, went to Ohio State, and transferred to LSU and just became a superstar in 1 year. And I mean, I kind of see myself in him. I love stories like that, how you come from a small town and then you just become a superstar in a year.
Awesome stuff. So Joe, tell us the viewers a little bit about yourself, kind of a little bit about your background and kind of how you got to Albany and all the stuff that people might not know about you.
Yeah, well, I'm from Somers, New York. It's in Westchester County. It's about 2 hours south of Albany. And I went to a private Catholic school at Archbishop Stepanak in White Plains. Started 2 years there, went all 4 years of high school there, played varsity football in 3 years, played varsity lacrosse in 4 years there. I won 2 state championships there, once as a sophomore and once as a junior. I was originally going to Syracuse to play lacrosse. And I committed there as a junior when I was in January, and kind of was a backup plan. Wasn't really expecting any football offers. And then the spring of my junior year, during lacrosse season, started getting all these football offers and football interest from a bunch of these schools. And Albany reached out. Really, really cool place all the coaches were reaching out to me a lot, and I kind of really wasn't focused on football at the time because of playing lacrosse and winning the soccer ball. And what pretty much happened was that I had about, I think it was 8 full rides, and I originally wanted to play football, but like I said, it was backup plan. And I mean, I was kind of late with the recruiting process, but I committed to Albany when I was I think it was July 31st, going into my senior year. And then that's how I pretty much got here.
What made you want to play football at UA over playing lacrosse at Syracuse? Kind of playing, Syracuse is a well-known lacrosse program. I mean, they're huge there. What made you want to play football at Albany?
Yeah, I mean, I've always wanted to play football. I mean, it's been a dream of mine to play college football, and I'm living out that dream. And I felt like Albany was the perfect place to go and live out that dream.
Outside of, being able to fulfill that dream, what was, you had other football offers, what made UA stand out to you rather than having, going to maybe some other schools that were recruiting you at the time?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, UA was always reaching out to me, and I gained a really good relationship with Coach Gattuso and Coach Nessel. And I feel like coming here too, I went to the Catholic school I went to, all the coaches were pretty good all around guys. You can really talk to them about anything. And I felt like that was the same way around here.
Awesome stuff. Awesome stuff. So, Joe, outside of football, and you're working hard in the classroom and stuff, and you're continuing to build your career. What are some outside hobbies that you kind of enjoy and like to do outside of football and kind of school stuff side of things?
I mean, I like to hang out with friends. Big Netflix guy and HBO Max. I'm watching Peaky Blinders right now. It's a really pretty good show. I mean, I've been on HBO Max. I mean, I've watched Sopranos, Entourage, all those sweet shows. And I mean, I have a PS5. I play video games a little bit too.
Awesome. So your normal college stuff. Do you do anything else besides kind of just hang out with friends, watching TV, stuff like that? Do you have any other like hobbies? Do you like to ski or snowboard or stuff like that up
Yeah,
here? There's
I
a
am a
stuff.
big snowboarder. I mean, my board isn't up here right now, but I didn't have enough room in the car coming up. But definitely want to. I'm going home this weekend, so I might bring it up. But yeah, I've been snowboarding probably since the fourth grade. Would
Where
always
what's your mountain of choice? Where did you grow up kind of skiing? Have you been kind of just skiing all around? Have you got any West Coast skiing at all?
no West Coast, all East Coast. But when I was little, my friends' parents would always get a couple of like apartments, lodges at Smuggler's Notch in Vermont, and would always go up there. That's kind of how to learn how to ride. And when I was maybe seventh grade, went up to Killington for
Okay.
my friend's birthday, and that was fun. But yeah, I kind of just stick around here around the mountains, like Jiminy Peak, what else? Catamount.
Mhm.
Where I go around here with a couple of my friends during break.
Nice stuff. What do you do? How good of a swimmer do you like to do any like tricks or anything like that? Kind of
No,
like any jumps or anything like that?
nah, I just ride. I mean, I don't like doing tricks because I'm afraid I'll fall and get hurt.
That's too funny. It's I've skied over here. I've grew up on the West Coast, like skiing on the West Coast. So like skiing over here, I wouldn't say it's the best skiing that I've ever had. I mean, I understand how it's easy for people to translate from East Coast to West Coast, but man, for me coming over here, it's like I understand why you don't want to fall because you hit the ground and it's all ice.
That's all
It
ice,
hurts. It
especially in the
hurts.
mountains around New York. I mean, they're all ice. You go to Vermont. I mean, they're getting powder, and they treat those mountains like they're their babies.
Yeah, it's funny because it's like you go out west and it's all like powder skiing. I went out this past December right around Christmas and I was skiing like powder one morning. I was skiing like powder up to like my knees. It was unbelievable about like how much snow it got over here. It was so much fun just being able to do that and being able to ski in that. That's one thing. I tried snowboarding a couple times. And it was tough. I probably should have been more patient with it, but I was not into
Yeah.
it. I'm very good skier. I like to ski a lot when I can, and I didn't have the patience to learn again how to snowboard. And I'll give any snowboarder credit because man, it's tough. It's a lot tougher. When you have 2 feet, it's a lot easier when you have two skis, but when you only have one board
Mhm.
with 2 feet, it's it's a workout, man. It's like you're twisting a lot of core, twisting and turning down the mountain. What's your favorite part of snowboarding?
Probably just like the experience and the conditions. I mean, it's just sweet, like flying down a mountain and like just in the cold. I mean, you're decked out in cool gear. I mean, this past I mean, 2 years ago for Christmas, I got all my own stuff, which is sick. So it's kind of cool bringing it out like once a year.
And my always favorite part was like the views or like I do love flying down the mountain. That's probably one thing. I don't think people like skiing with me because I like they'll be skiing right behind me and I'm like, all right, we'll go here to here to here. And I'll just fly down the mountain. I'll meet you at the bottom of the mountain or whatever it is. And I'm not really skiing with them. But it's a fun time. I love the views. That's probably my favorite part is being able to kind of not necessarily be one with nature, but there's a lot of views and if I love having like a run or something to yourself and stuff like that. But switching gears back to kind of talking about your football side and all these things, what are your kind of goals and aspirations? Going back to the football side of things, what are your goals and aspirations to, what do you want to get out of being at UA? And what are some goals that you kind of have set after you had a pretty good successful year this year, but you want to continue to build off that and grow off that?
Yeah. I mean, I definitely want to be the best version of myself as a leader and as a player on the field every day I can possibly play. and I definitely want to win a CAA this year. What's good about our team is that coming off a 2-9 season, which is not what we expected, there are a lot of guys who want to fight and win jobs. So this upcoming spring, I feel like there's gonna be a lot of competition out there, which is just the best for the team.
What's your kind of leadership style? We talked a little bit about Matt Bauer. He kind of leads. He likes to set the standard and do leadership kind of his way. As a quarterback and as a leader of the offense, and you're only out there for so much period of time. Most of the time, you're actually leading in the weight room or maybe team runs and stuff like that. What's your kind of style that you like to lead by?
Well, I've always been a quiet guy, and I'm starting to really be more of a vocal guy, but I always like to lead by example. Just doing everything right, give 100% effort on everything you do.
Practically going into your third year here, what is some things that you've kind of taken away and have learned being in the college football realm? You kind of as a freshman, you kind of just get your feet wet and stuff like that. Well, we really didn't have a regular year. This was kind of like the first actually semi-regular year that we had. What are some things that you've learned about yourself or kind of learned about college football over these past 2 years going into your third?
Yeah, well, I feel like football is a lot more mental than it was in high school. In high school, I mean, I was just kind of just slinging out there, and now it's more I'm learning how to read defenses, how to read certain sides of the ball or size of the field, and it's just it's every week thing. I mean, I would play at least like 8 games in a season. Here, it's like
Uh-huh.
12. So it's just every week you got to move to the next one, move to the next one.
Yeah. What are some takeaways that you've done? I mean, talking about a little bit about, reading defenses and stuff like that. How have you been able to kind of adapt to, I think it's all like your first play as a college freshman, everything just the play's over so quickly. Like you're like, oh my gosh, the play's already over.
Uh-huh.
What are some things that have helped you kind of slow the game down, one, but two, also just continuing to develop yourself and things that that have helped you?
I'd say like I said before, like reading certain sides of the field, like the boundary in the field, and kind of just something like one little thing a defender can do can really tell you what the coverage is,
Mhm.
whether his eyes, his leverage, his demeanor, whether he's like coming up, whether he's backing up into zone. I mean, but literally one little thing can kind of tell you what the whole defense is doing from one player.
Awesome stuff. Yeah, yeah. What are some things kind of off the field? Being able to live, being a student athlete, and kind of living on your own. What are some things that you've kind of developed or learned, or other things that have kind of helped you grown so quickly? Whether you like it or not, you're going to be, in the leadership position this year, and kind of forced into it, being the leader and a quarterback of the offense. What are some things you've kind of learned from your personal side of things, getting away from home?
It's different without parents. I mean, you're worrying about a game, you're worrying about what you're gonna cook when you get home, like when you're
Mhm.
gonna do your laundry, and I mean, it's kind of just growing up and becoming an adult.
Yeah, yeah, that's always a big piece of the puzzle. Is always, it's always good to have some good friends and some good other pieces to help that good support, especially learning how to live on your own. Because you're so dependent on your parents until they go away, and you're like, oh man, they're not there. I need to do it myself. Kind of learn real quickly on how to make food or do your laundry or do these other things that you might have not have done. Um, prior to you coming to college and things like that. Being a two-sport athlete, were you a two-sport athlete always or a three-sport athlete ever since you've been kind of young?
Yeah, I mean, I always played sports. I mean, when I was little, probably like third grade, I played baseball, lacrosse, football, soccer. Played, yeah, those four, and kind of went all the way to football and lacrosse in high school. And I always been football, lacrosse. Started playing football in the third grade, and started playing lacrosse in the first grade, and those have been my two sports for forever.
Well, how would you say it's kind of helped you become that Division I athlete, being able to get those multiple sports in? Have you seen some trend? I mean, you've seen it like statistics and all these other things of kids playing multiple sports throughout their career, and I think it's a really beneficial part of it. But what have you seen some skills or some things that you've seen kind of help you from at least a Division I standpoint, being a Division I,
Mhm.
football player, Division I athlete?
I mean, quarterback. I mean, just throwing the ball and I have the ability to run, and I really put that to my lacrosse ability. I always played midfield, so dodging defenders, like really using my hips, like when you throw the ball, like using my hips to shoot shots, and the endurance. I mean, lacrosse, you're nonstop running, and at the midi, when I played midi, I would play both sides, offense and defense. So, and I would play lacrosse all year round too. I mean, I would play in the fall a little bit, but would when I was little, but
Mhm.
I would always play football. But yeah, once I started getting into high school, I started doing 7-on-7s in the spring. But
What,
yeah, it's been lacrosse all year round.
yeah, what made you love, it's clearly probably lacrosse was probably your first love, but your dream was to play football at Albany. What was kind of made you fall in love with both those sports? So what made you fall in love with lacrosse? And then you can add on to what kind of made you fall in love with football.
I mean, lacrosse, I mean, I always love the speed of the game. And I mean, it's something I would always play. I grew up watching it, grew up playing it. And I mean, just running around, like hitting people, shooting shots, it was so much fun. And with football, what I really love about it, it's more of a team game. It's one person makes a mistake, everyone on the field it hurts.
Yeah. What would you say? What made you want to be have you always been a quarterback? What made you want to be a quarterback? Kind of growing up, just being the best athlete on the field. They just throw you there and hey man, go make a play.
Yeah, I mean, in the third grade, my dad was my head coach. So I mean, he kind of put me at quarterback, and he, I mean, he could have put me at running back, but I always loved throwing the ball more than running it.
What have always made you have that such a strong arm? Is it just being an athlete, or do you do any like baseball or anything like that before you got into playing quarterback and slinging the rock around?
Yeah, I mean, I did play baseball as little, but I mean, I never really pitched. I kind of just played center field and would run around and catch pop ups. But I mean, I guess I've always had a strong arm.
Yeah, I mean, if Joe was throwing it to you on a slant, I'd get up there. All right, you got to get ready because man, he's gonna sling that sucker right there.
Yeah.
If you don't catch it, it's gonna hit you right in the face. That's gonna hurt more than getting it there. I remember some of the throws that you would make in practice, and it'd be like be on air routes or something like that. I'd be like, oh gosh, Carino's up. He's gonna drill me. He was somewhere with this football right here. You've always had a strong arm and been a character on the team and all that awesome stuff. You talked a little bit about your goals. What are some individual goals? You talked a little bit about the team goals that you wanted to win the CEA and continue to improve. What are some personal goals that you individually want to achieve to continue to better yourself?
I feel like with my team goals, I don't really set like individual goals for myself. I mean, as a team, I've always been a team player, and I feel like if you do set that goal to win a CAA and a national championship, the individual goals just come with it.
Okay. Yeah, I mean that's a good approach to it. There's all different types of approaches. I've been always the one to set individual goals to help. Hopefully, I think it's important as an individual. If you make it too broad, and then of course it's a team game and stuff like that. But if you make it too broad, I think it sometimes not necessarily defeats the purpose, but continually it's just too broad. It's too out there. I think if you have a little bit more, not necessarily detailed, but have individual goals to be able to not necessarily accolades or stuff like that, but maybe stuff you can improve on yourself as an individual. The goals and those accolades or whatever the case may be will hopefully translate to the team and hopefully inspire other people as you're doing here. I think it's awesome being a goal setter. I think it's also important to put your goal out there, not having it too far, but also being realistic with yourself where it's not too easy as well. So finding that happy balance of happy medium of being able to do that. We talked a little bit about the team after the 2-9 season and stuff like that. Of course, the goal is to win the CAA, win a national championship and stuff like that. But what do you see? It's been very early, but you guys have started workouts and stuff like that. What do you see in this team that can help be successful and drive you guys to be successful, hopefully meet or exceed your guys' goals?
There's talent on both sides of the ball, and there's a lot of talent. I mean, what I like about it too is that it's just not talent anymore. It's guys who want to win, or guys who
Mhm.
are very hungry for success, because like we were just talking about before the 2-9 season, I mean, everyone was disappointed. And I feel like it's going to bring out the best of everyone coming into spring and coming into the fall.
Yeah, you guys have had a couple new coaches, especially well, Coach Davis is not on the staff anymore. You have a new offense coordinator now. Have you been able to talk to him and kind of be able to figure out, hey, kind of get a feel of what's going to happen or anything like that? I know it's still kind of very new and stuff like that, but what are your thoughts, at least first impressions, as you've talked to the new offense coordinator?
Yeah, his name is Jared Ambrose. He came from Delaware. We really haven't talked any football yet, but we've had a couple of conversations just about life, and he's a really good guy. You can really like talk to him about anything, and he's just a really good all around guy.
Yeah. Who ended up recruiting you at UA? Was it Coach Davis that ended up recruiting you, or is it who recruited you?
So yeah, Coach Nessel had my county. I think he has sections 1 through 9, and then because I'm a quarterback, it was Davis and Gattuso recruiting me.
What was some things that you enjoyed about Coach Davis while he had his time here? And what are some things that you really enjoyed having him around and being helping you and helping to your success?
Yeah, I mean, he was just a great coach. I mean, he kind of taught me everything I needed to know about quarterback, and really gave me a good gist of how to read defenses and how to read the boundary in the field and on certain plays and where to go with the ball. And yeah, he kind of just taught me, he kind of gave me the basics of how to play quarterback at the collegiate level.
Awesome. Awesome stuff. Yeah, I think Coach Dave has always been very informative and very detailed, very smart human being, I think,
Yeah.
more than I think people give him credit for. He's very intelligent, knows what he's doing out there and stuff like that. Joey, I mean, so, there's been a lot of guys ended up, leaving the team this past year. What's your guys' kind of approach and how do you guys feel about having a bunch of guys ended up leaving the team and stuff like that? What's the kind of the culture around within the team about all these guys leaving and bringing in a bunch of new people as well?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like if the guys want to leave, they can go. I mean, we have all the guys we need that are on the team right now. I mean, whoever left, I mean, I wish them the best of luck, but kind of just focus on ourselves and we're just ready.
Yeah, what have you seen? You guys had a couple new transfers in and stuff like that. What have you seen in them? And helping them bring them into kind of the Purple family and continue to build the culture at UAlbany. What are some things that you guys kind of done to help them and help bring them along?
The transfers we got, they're very, very talentful. I mean, all the talent there in the world. I mean, we got some receivers, got some defensive linemen, got some linebackers. And I mean, we kind of just showed them the ropes. I mean, we've been training for at least I think 4 weeks now, something like that. But they're kind of just getting the gist of it. And I mean, I bet they're very excited to get in the field and for spring ball.
Yeah, awesome. As we kind of shift gears here into something a little bit different here, talking a little bit about balancing academics and sports, being a quarterback, you got to be a very, almost have to be more mentally prepared than physically prepared for a lot of these games, where you're diving into things. What's kind of your, we'll start off with a little bit. What is your kind of, pre-game, not pre-game, but pre-week, like what are you doing throughout the week, studying film and doing these other things kind of outside of practice time, from things like that? What is kind of your not necessarily philosophy, but kind of one of the things that you like to do to help you get ready for the game on Saturday?
Yeah, I mean, how we did it this past fall. I mean, Coach Davis would kind of give us the gist of how their defense would be, and we kind of make plays for them, and how I would go home for at least an hour or an hour and a half and just watch the teams and get a gist of how they play and kind of put it into my own language. And I would probably write at least like 6 pages of notes on each team we play.
Mhm.
And before on Fridays, I would read over and just review.
Mhm. Yeah. So how are you able to balance that with, even all the outside film and all the other things that you're doing with being in, being in 5, 4 classes, but also have a practice time and meetings and stuff like that. How are you able to balance all the things that are kind of on your plate, especially as a quarterback?
Yeah, I mean, I've always been good at balancing my academics and my athletics. Like I said before, going to that Catholic school, it kind of taught me how to balance those out pretty well. And I've had a 3.5 GPA here. Kind of just time management. It's kind of planning. Oh, I'm going to do this homework and then I'm going to watch film after. Or I'm going to watch film then do my homework after it.
Yeah, as we dive in a little bit of the other academic stuff and stuff like that, of course, everyone's goal is to make it to the NFL. That's plan A, all that stuff. But you talked a little bit backup plan. Going to Albany. What is kind of your backup plan? What are you looking to do? I know you're still very early in school and early in your career, but is there some specific field or anything that you're kind of aiming for or looking to after football's all done with?
This is my last semester in order to get into the business school, and I'm on path to get into it. I'm kind of looking into business analytics. I'm not really sure what I want to do with it yet, but it's kind of something I'm very interested in doing.
Mhm. Yeah. So what are you concentrating in right now for the business school?
It's just general business.
Just as a general business right now?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm very interested in the business analytics side. Definitely something that I'm gonna definitely do for MBA stuff side of things. I think there's a lot of good avenues to go down. What are you curious about on the business analytics side?
It's just something I'm interested in. I mean, I'm just like the teamwork, the team management. I feel like that's pretty good in order to. I mean, I'm a quarterback, being a leader, and working with a
Mhm.
team. I mean, that's a big part of it. And just I've always been interested in computers and business and technology, and that's a big part of it.
Yeah, I think that's a big piece of where the world's kind of moving to. Technology is continuing to boom and all that other fun stuff and things like that. Business analytics definitely is kind of, I would say, a little bit of the best worlds where it's a little bit side of, I wouldn't say computer science, but it can be at times with things like that. But also you get the business aspect aside. So you're more focusing on, you're not necessarily focused on IT side of things, but you're also focusing on things that you use in the business world, whether it's Python or Power BIs or stuff like that, be able to kind of work with them and be able to use them for, a company down the line, and not necessarily just be able to be the IT person, but be able to analyze it and see what's going on and be able to formulate those other things can come down the line. I think it's a big piece of the puzzle, and I think um, companies are continuously looking for people like that to be able to use their assets and their skills to be able to do that somewhere down the line. I think that's a cool part. Is there any specific field, just kind of you're in general business right now, was there anything like you're looking for in just regular business, or is there marketing or finance, or is it more of like the computer IT side that you're kind of the field you're looking for?
Probably the computer and the IT and the finance side. I mean, I just like business analytics really stood out to me as something I want to do like in my master's, but I'm really like not sure yet of really what kind of field or something I want to get into yet.
Have you been able to get any internships or anything like that? I know it's been with COVID, it's been kind of tough to be able to do anything. Have you been able to kind of do any internships to kind of guide you on a path that you might be interested in, or even see something that you don't want to do?
Yeah, not yet. I plan on doing that next summer.
Okay.
So this next summer kind of just focusing on ball.
Awesome, awesome stuff. Awesome stuff, Joe. Yeah, I think it's important to be able to. It's still very early. I know I didn't know what I wanted to do going into college or anything like that. I didn't really know what I wanted to do until I was a junior in college. I wouldn't say necessarily know what I wanted to do, but I'd say there was a pathway that I kind of saw that I wanted to kind of run my brain down and kind of work my way through there. So, and anyways, even if you get in the business world and graduate, within the first 5 years, you're most likely going to change your career up to 3 times. So you still have plenty of time to be able to figure out what you want to do and what other things that you're passionate about. But Joe, we're talking a little bit about what you're passionate about. What are you kind of passionate about? Outside of football, is there anything other things that kind of make you tick or you really enjoy to do and that you're really passionate about?
I've always been about football, so not really.
No, I saw that you were doing some community service. I'm guessing you're very passionate about kind of giving back to the community and be able to continue to give back and work with the community. Just I think as athletes, important to do that and stuff like that. Is that something that I think it seemed like that you're passionate about and stuff like that?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, off the top of my head, that's good you said that. My mom is a special needs teacher in Somers. I've always been doing that since I've been a little kid, like helping out in the summer, and there would be like a buddy system. So I have a kid for the whole like summer. So like the kids would go into summer school, and in the afternoon there'd be like a fun like little buddy thing going on where you play games, watch movies, and just hang out. And it's something I've always loved. And yeah, coming here, I mean, I worked at the soup kitchen last Saturday, and yeah, it's always good to give back to the community.
Yeah, I saw you guys have some pretty cool outfits that you guys were
Yeah.
were in at the soup kitchen down there. But it's awesome helping giving back to the community is always a big piece of the puzzle. They continue to help support us and do all the things that we do, but it's also important just to give back, whether they're supporting us or not. Just because you want to help as many people as you possibly can and continue to grow that relationship and do these other things. But Joe, you're from practically pretty much from around the city. I'd call it around the city. What's your favorite team? You Jets or Giants fan?
I'm Giants.
Giants fan. How do you feel about the Giants after all the moves that they've kind of made this past year?
Well, I really do feel like they're making the right coaching decisions. They got the Chiefs quarterback coaches or new OC. Of course, the ball is their new head coach, and they got the Ravens DC, who's been a great DC. I mean, Ravens been having a really good defense for the past couple of years. I mean, I feel like they're really like building, putting the right coaches in, and now they're just got to do their job. And then of course they're the new GM from the Bills too.
Yeah. How young were you when they won to finally won their last Super Bowl versus who was it? They were in the Patriot. They beat the Patriots
Yeah,
in
2011.
2011.
Maybe what am I? 19, maybe 8, 9 years old.
Wow.
There, yeah,
You remember those games?
I do. That was a good game to watch. I mean, the Giants have always when they beat the Patriots, they wouldn't really do anything spectacular. They kind of just played really good
Mhm.
defense, and when they had the opportunity to score, they scored.
Yeah, I think it's been interesting after kind of after that they haven't been
No.
same. I feel like ever since they've not done so well. How do you feel? You're probably are you a big Daniel Jones guy, or how are you about Daniel Jones, and what are some things that you like and don't like about Daniel Jones?
Yeah, I mean, he hasn't really proved himself yet to me. I mean, he's been injured, and one thing that ticks me is that he's always making turnovers. I mean, no matter if it's fumbling or throwing picks, but you're not going to win games turn over the ball. I mean,
Yeah, yeah.
he's a lot to prove this year.
Yeah, there's a lot of moving pieces. For people, I always thought it was interesting for quarterbacks. I think they get ridiculed a lot, but they also get a lot of almost too much praise. I think it's almost like a fine line. It's a team game, as you've said that. It's a continuously a team game, and I think that's important to get that. I mean, if you don't have receivers that don't get open, it's tough to throw the ball. If you don't have, we saw in the Super Bowl here, you get sacked 7 times. You got sacked most of the NFL. It's really hard to win games on a consistent basis and be a consistent team. So, and if you score, you can score on every drive. But if the defense can't stop anybody, then you're still not. You can, it's you still can't win the game. So it just it goes hand in hand with everything. It's such a team game. Football is, and it's incredible. I mean, I think it might be the most team aspect game of probably almost all time. There are some things that there are team games, team things, but it's a lot individually based. You could even, it's a lot of moving pieces and a lot of things like that. But Joe, do you got anything as we wrap things up here? Do you got anything to say to the viewers or anything like that before we wrap things up here?
No, I mean, thank you for having me. Really appreciate it.
No problem. No problem. All right, guys. Well, guys, again, if you guys like what you're seeing and continuing with this content, stuff like that, feel free to hit the subscribe button. Follow us on our podcast. We're on every single podcast network where you get your podcast, whatever. Follow us on social media. And again, thanks, Joey, for your time. And, I'll look forward to watching you guys this season and seeing how well you guys are doing. And, I'll always be, Great Dane for life. I'm excited to watch you guys and always be cheering for you guys. Thanks for coming on. And guys, until next week, see you guys.